to go live now. And I should have clicked on something else. We're streaming. It says stream status is okay. Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Oh, yeah, yeah. There's definitely a delay. Yes, they're hearing all my crap there. All right. Hello. Let's see if we can get. Just. That's what I'm trying to set up the chat here so I can see. Okay, let's. All right. All right, cool. We got people. Excellent, excellent. Okay, Joel. So, welcome, 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 welcome to my first stream. I did this late, so it'll be comfortable for you. Hopefully, comfortable for everybody else. So if this, yeah. And it's 11 o'clock. Oh, God, how do you shut that off? I hear myself in the background delayed. Yeah. Let's see. They can't hear you? Okay. No. Well, I see a mic and audio. Oh, mixer settings. Yes. Yes. Tracks 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Audio output capture. Okay. Add existing. Okay. That's it. That's my mic. Let's see here. Add audio input capture. Let's try that one. Add existing, mic and aux. Okay, how about now? Let's see, give it a delay. Let's see if we're getting any comments here. I'm echoing now. How the hell? Making videos is easier. Is the mic plugged in? Let's see, how come I can hear you, but let's see. Okay, I got Windows, I got mic, aux. Let's see, audio output capture. Do I need that too? Let's try that. Audio output capture, create new, add existing. And then nothing shows up. Can Chuck hear Joel? Yes, I can hear Joel. But you're not coming through. What the heck? Let's see. Settings. Maybe it's under settings. Yes. Advanced audio properties. All it shows is mic and aux. It's got volume percent is 4. Maybe that's the problem. Should I raise that? Let's see. It's got name. It's got volume, down mix to mono. Yes, advanced audio properties. Right. Yes, and okay, that's what I click. All right, let me see. I'll click on it again. Properties. Okay, got that. It's showing me my blue snowball, and that's it. Yeah. No. Let's add another one, but it's add audio input. Okay, let's see. Audio input. Let's see. Properties. I've got a default, built-in microphone, built-in input, and blue snowball again. What the hell? Well, here we go. This is why I shouldn't have used Mac, right? Jeepers. Scene trans. This is not going well. Maybe Joel can write notes and hold them up to the camera. Oh, come on. There's got to be something I'm missing here. I'm going to go into settings. Let's see. Stream. Audio. Desktop audio device disabled. Desktop audio. Audio device to 2. It won't let me enable it. Let's see. Oh, man. Video. Sorry, guys. This is really sucking right now. Honest to God. It should be capturing the sound, same as stream. Okay, recording quality lossless. Let's see. Same as stream. You talk again. You're actually coming through, but it's really, really faint. Wow, you are really loud, but if Jill is coming through, oh, Anthony's got some. Jill's coming through your computer speakers, and you need to mute everything. Input mic is from Snowball only. Disable mic on webcam. Add a second audio desktop. Okay. Audio, everything else is disabled. Enable push to mute. Audio input capture. Wow. Okay, let me mute that. Well, I guess. Now Chuck is muted, so that muted me by doing that. Snap changes. I don't know what else I would be. I've got an audio input capture, I got a mic, and I got a Windows capture. We're capturing the windows, they can see you. Wow. Okay. My sound is back? Okay. I brought the volume back up on my mic and input capture. That's the only controls I have in a central mixer. Chuck is soft again, they're saying. Jesus. I had them right back to where they were. Joel, look at my last comment, please. Let's see. What else would there be? Let me try the Windows capture here. Properties. Show empty names. Let's see if there's another Skype here. Current call. Okay. Let's see if that does anything. Okay. It is. It's just hardly moving. Just really weak. Yeah, Joel is muted. How would I unmute you? Let's see, settings, audio. It won't even, let's, desktop audio disabled. All my audio is disabled, just like was suggested. Mic audio, push to mute delay, channels. Let's see, channels, mono, stereo. Nope. Ah, oh, son of a pup. Someone said it can hear you, but it's barely there. So let's see. Audio input. I'll put this one way up and mine down, but well, there's two of them here. I got an audio input capture, and then I got my mic. Right. Which I've got. Okay, let me try another one of those. Let's see. Audio input capture. I think I just lost my picture. Add audio output capture. And I say create new. And then under device, there's nothing showing up. But I've got it there, but there's no sound coming through it. Windows capture. Let's see. Properties. I'm showing XYZ printing. Let's see. Skype. And okay, at least I got the picture back. But I am not getting your audio coming through. I got an audio output capture. I got an audio input capture, which is just me twice. Or actually, audio input capture is me, the mic audio. So the audio output capture. Why am I not seeing you? Let's see, what else would there be? Studio mode. There's a studio mode. I haven't clicked on that. But settings, under the main settings, if I go under audio, I've got device audio, desktop audio device disabled, desktop audio device 2 disabled, mic/auxiliary audio is a blue snowball, mic auxiliary audio device 2 is disabled. Those I can check all my different microphones, and then there's a device audio 3, or audio device 3, same thing, but that's disabled. That's all the audio. Now output, under output, there's a streaming and recording. That's set to recording quality, same as stream. Let's see, stream, general. Yeah, this just is not giving me a clue here. Advanced, nothing. That makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know what else to try here in OBS. Play Joel's audio through, plays Joel's audio through your speaker so the microphone can pick it up. I would think mine would be picking it up. That's another thing. Why, when you talk, it should at least come through my microphone. I got you so loud. Put the headphones on the mic. Oh, you know why? I got headphones. Oh, good point. Let me pull the headphones off. All right, how about now?
Well, you can probably hear me.
Yeah, but maybe you'll come through my same microphone.
Maybe.
Let me turn the volume up.
Why, I sound loud.
Do you? They hear you through the mic.
Yeah, well, I would hope so, right?
All right. This may be how we have to do it for now.
Hey, if this gets it through, then go for it, right?
Yeah, we've wasted enough.
We're makers. We make stuff happen.
Okay, we can hear Joel now. That's better than nothing. I agree. All right.
Concur.
We'll have to sort that out another time. All right, thanks for the patience. Sorry for my screw up. I got some learning to do. All right, so Joel, what I wanted to say when we started, congratulations on 30K.
Thanks. Hey, almost congrats on 10K.
Yes,
You rascally.
I'm getting close. Getting close.
It'll happen. It'll happen super soon. It's going to happen, and then it's going to be like a waterfall, and it's just going to be crazy pants.
They're saying there's a delay, 18 minutes.
Of course there's a delay.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
Yes, 10K. I do have some stuff coming. I do have some printers coming that I'm going to give away.
Good.
So that's all being sorted out. And I see a delay in the picture. So anyway, before we sort this out, are you going to be doing more with Angus as far as streaming? I know you mentioned that in your last stream. Are you guys planning something?
Maybe. We're both so busy. It's really hard to nail down a time to do it. The only reason I could do this stream with you is because we scheduled it like 3 weeks ago.
That does help. If I gotta look at the microphones.
It's so tough. It's so tough. I don't know. I hope so.
Well, that's good.
I want to, but it depends on his schedule, and it depends on my schedule.
I understand.
Yeah.
That is enjoyable. Well, one thing I wanted to touch on, printers. I mean, you have got a crap load of printers, and you have tried them all. Is there like one or two printers that, after you've used them all now, that you would say, this is my go-to printer? This is, if someone said, I need this printed, and you knew it needed to print good, what printer would you go to?
I would go with my Lowellspot Mini.
Really?
Absolutely. I've yet to have a failure on that printer. I have consistent quality on that printer. It's handled, let's see, I've got hips, PLA, I haven't run any ABS through it because I don't have any 285 ABS, which is just a shocker, right? It's consistent in its quality, and it's good in its quality. So if I'm like, oh crap, I need to print something right now, Lulzbot Mini.
And but you print what? Mostly PLA though, right?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of PLA, Chuck.
Have you done ABS on the Lulzbot Mini?
No, I haven't. I don't have any 285 ABS. It's the
that's right,
battery filament. Yeah, yeah. So I need 285 or 30 Lulzbot Mini.
Or is that something you refuse to buy?
Oh,
ABS. I mean,
I've purchased tons of ABS in my time. When I had my Etsy store, that's all my cookie cutters were made out of. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of ABS. So I've purchased plenty. I'm sure if I put the call out and said, "Hey guys, can I try some ABS in my Lulzbot Mini?" I'm sure someone would send me some, and then I would try it. What I'm really curious about though is that new Cubicon style. It's supposed to be the best ABS printer around, so I'm really looking forward to trying that.
well, I'll tell you, you got me. You've actually got me thinking. Plus other people. You know, I started with the Vinci, so I only had ABS. There was no other choice. You couldn't print PLA on this thing, so that's all I knew, and I learned how to print ABS pretty decent because of that.
Yeah.
But now that I've used PETG and some of that Matter Hackers Pro PETG, I'm really getting sold. I did some of that Filamentive recycled PETG, printed really well.
Yeah, it printed well for me as well. In fact, it was this one. This was the RPET.
Yeah, it's good stuff. The barbecue wheel. I did a barbecue wheel in ABS. I did it in PETG, and I'd take the PETG. I mean, I don't know how it's going to hold up outside. That's the real question.
I don't know. Do you have any hot days?
During summer, we'll get, like, end of July here, August, we'll hit 90 to 100 degrees, somewhere in there. So,
okay.
So we'll see. I actually have a plastics engineer that lives, like, I don't know, 5 houses from me.
That's handy.
And I've run it by him, and he claims that ABS is not as good outside as everyone says it is because the ultraviolet will break down properties within the ABS.
Oh, I thought it spread its cancerous smell to the animals outside too.
If it's cancerous smell,
come on,
man.
you had to. I had to.
I've thought about that. I'm dead because I've sniffed enough of that and solder fumes that I'm dead. I'm probably walking dead right now.
Oh, what's worse? Do you think? What's worse for you, solder fumes or ABS?
Well, here's the sick part. I love the smell of solder fumes. I've been doing it so long. Like, people will build a fan with a suction, and
yeah,
and just to get the fumes away. And I've done that, and I go, I miss the fumes. I mean, it's terrible, but I got to get some of that smell. I love the smell of it, and I've been doing it for so long. So.
Oh, it brings back the good memories, huh?
Yes, from my early Radio Shack kit days.
I remember as a kid, I had a book of scratch and sniff stickers, and one of them smelled like gas, and that was the most scratched sticker I had.
Not sure I want to smell that one.
Smelled like automobile gas, not like the
that kind of gas. Oh, okay. No, gasoline I do like to smell. Yeah.
Yeah. See.
But so if ABS is going to be that bad, it's going to kill me. But that is the one printer that I've learned to go to. For me, has been the one you helped me get. There was the FlashForge Dreamer.
Oh yeah, you love that machine, don't you?
Oh, I cannot believe how well that thing prints. Now, it's well above the $500 target that I've tried to stay. I kind of set a target. Sure. It's like if I can afford a $500 printer. A lot of families could probably afford a $500 printer, but is it worth buying, or should you wait and get something better? That was always my thought.
Sure.
And I stuck to that. I really didn't want to try anything above $500 just to see what was out there. But there were some things I wanted to do, and I needed the flash forward for what it's still working on its plans. But you helped get me contact the right people. I got that thing. I started printing right away, and I'm like, oh my God, this is heaven. This is heaven compared to what I've been using. So,
well, I still have my my FlashForge Creator Pro, and that was the first printer I ever owned, and it's still to this day it'll print circles around anything I have as far as being robust and being able to just put anything through it. It's the hardest thing in the world to level, and I swear that plate ain't true. I had to shim one of the sides of the hot end because the dual nozzles I couldn't get to level perfectly. But I've done all that, and so the machine is essentially just a brick, right? And I just feed film into it, and it spits it out however I want it, and yeah, it's crazy how that works. I never thought that would last for so long.
So now, from a low point of view, do you have any printers that are like under $500? I mean, you got the Wanhao, but really, do you have many that are low cost?
I don't have the Wanhao. I traded that to my friend's wife for time on her Glowforge. But she's got to get that first. They're still not shipping. Let's see. What do I have? I have. What do I have? Oh my gosh, do I have any? I've got the Robo R1 Plus, but that's still about 500. I've got I don't have any printers that are below $500, Chuck.
See, that's why we work good together. Yeah. Are you gonna be getting a Tico?
I'm not supposed to say.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to say if I am or not.
Okay,
I hope
we'll
to.
let that slide.
I really, really want one
because I understand they're shipping. There are shipping.
Are they? Okay, then you know more than I do at this point.
I was told that they're shipping July 1st. That people should start getting their Ticos. Or they start shipping July 1st, so they should be coming. So
I was told that they are interested in talking about sending one to me.
Okay.
I do have a TiVo Tarantula coming.
Okay, so there you go.
And there we go. That is a sub $500 printer.
You're gonna put that together.
I'm actually gonna do it with my kids.
Awesome.
Yeah, it might take a while, but I want them to be the ones that tighten it all together and plug the wires in and call it their own. I mean, I'll still use it and I'll still review the printer as I do my other printers, but my 10-year-old, she always says, "Daddy, I want my own 3D printer." And I tell her, well, I have many to choose from. And she goes, no, I want one of my own that wasn't yours to begin with.
There you go. You have Fabricator. Are you Fabricator Mini? I thought you mentioned you were going to be getting a Fabricator Mini.
I'm supposed to. Hobby King contacted me. They were going to send me the Fabricator Mini V1.5, and then they said they're going to send me the V2 when it comes out. Oh. But I send them a note, and then they usually reply like 3-4 weeks later.
Okay. Well, the problem with the 1.5 is you can't get the damn thing.
That's true. Yeah.
They're never in stock. They get a few in stock and they're gone.
That's because it's so cheap. I thought about trying to get a Monoprice Select, right? Because even on sale it's like $160, and at that point it's almost like an automatic purchase, right? It's at that price point where I'm like, I don't have to ask.
Well, that's I got that one. I reviewed it, and then there was a update for the firmware.
Oh.
And I tried the update, and it crashed my printer.
No way.
Yes. I'm not trying to ignore the comments here, but I wanted to get some stuff. But yeah, it crashed the printer. So I contact them, and they told me a bunch of things. Do this, do this, do this, and I did them all. And I said, look, the bootloader on your board is not responding. It's I've done enough programming. It's the board. I finally convinced them.
Okay.
They're sending me a board. In fact, they just got the board in today.
So cool. So you'll be back up and going in no time.
I'll be back up and going, see if that thing can work. Because I'll tell you, for the price of that printer, I'm amazed. I mean, it's not top quality prints, but it's good enough. Definitely good enough.
Okay, well, good. Hey, Chuck, my buddy Jimmy in the comments, he said, what was the primary reason you both began making YouTube videos? And I don't think I've ever heard the story behind you. Why did you start a YouTube channel? How did you get started in all this?
Let's see. Actually, I started doing YouTube channel long before the 3D printing. God, it was about 4 years before I did it. And what I did, because my main thing, I was writing books, electronics, and I wanted a way to help people do the projects in the books. I get a lot of email, I can't get this to work, can't get that to work. So I started doing videos. I didn't have good equipment, and I watched the videos, and I was like, it's awful. I just am awful in front of the camera. I don't even want to release this crap. And to me, doing the electronics was really, really tough to do. There's so many steps and so many things you want to talk about. So I would play with it from time to time, and then I finally just said, this isn't working. And then I got, I've been following 3D printing for 4 years, reading everything I can. And like 2 years ago, I get my Da Vinci. And I start printing with it, and it had some issues, and I kept working on it, making it better and better. And then I started watching, I'm watching a bunch of YouTube, and there's people saying, Da Vinci sucks. You can't get it to print. You got to reflash it. You got to, you can't use their software. And I was like, no. I mean, it's not the best, but, there's some things you need to do. So I said, I'm going to make a video and see if people will watch. And that's really how it started. And it's like instantly, wow. I had viewers. And I go, whoa, this is kind of cool. And to me, it was easier to make a 3D printing video because I could just put the camera on the thing and time lapse and go to sleep.
Sure.
And then do it later. Plus, my equipment got better. Although I still, I film most of everything I do with my phone, with my cell phone. One of them.
Really? What? Even your main?
Yeah.
Your main stuff?
Yeah. That's a lot of people are shocked when they find out that I do.
Wow.
I do all my filming with my 6 Plus. I started out with my 5, but it's 6 Plus, and I do all my editing on my iPad using iMovie.
Huh.
And it's just, I've gotten so good at it and doing stuff that that's how I do my video. I just don't have a lot of time because I got other projects that I do outside of YouTube that kind of makes me have to balance all this. I got a new book coming out on Arduino. Here's the picture of the cover.
Wow.
So that's going to be released. I got the first copies coming out, the first proofs in about a month, and then after that it'll be on Amazon.
Is it digital or a paperback?
Initially it'll be paperback. And then Kindle version will come later.
Cool.
And then Nuts and Bolts magazine that I've written for years. This is kind of an electronics hobbyist magazine.
Yeah.
You see this has got 3D printing on the cover?
Yeah.
That's my cover. That was my 3D print. So I have an article that comes in there every other month. So I write that. And then I got some 3D prints that I do sell to help fund the channel. So all those things are going on, and I'm like, man, I squeeze in the videos basically. While I'm doing stuff, I try to squeeze the videos in. So, but anyway, that's long story. That's how I got into it. And part of it is just the community and guys like you and Anthony and Angus and Jesus. There's so many guys that I follow.
Well, more and more every day, right?
I got no one around
left and right.
Yeah, I got no one around me really close by. The closest one I think is 2 hours away. that does 3D printing. So it's my YouTube community that I share with.
Well, see, I've got Barnacle,'s 40 minutes away. Chris Pereira is also in my neighborhood. He's super close. I one of the admins of the 3D printing subreddit is like 20 minutes away. We're gonna meet up for a beer sometime. So it's I'm kind of fortunate in that I actually have a contingent of 3D printing here in the Seattle area. It's kind of nice.
So what made you get into this then?
Into YouTube or 3D printing?
YouTube. Well, I guess 3D printing and YouTube. I mean, what made you start sharing this?
Oh well, I was always wanting to make stupid little videos. I was always the kid with the camera, and so it was videos were just a natural progression of the digital images that I used to take. I owned some of the first digital cameras, and then I owned some of the first digital video cameras, and it was just the way it was, and so I always wanted a place to put my videos online. For a while there, I was only on Vimeo because my YouTube account was shut down. I had a DMCA takedown request from Robert Tilton. Does that name sound familiar?
No.
He is the farting preacher. Remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember those videos? Yeah.
Yes.
So a long time ago, I had a YouTube because I opened my YouTube account in 2005, and I opened it because I had a bunch of I was working at startup companies and tech companies, and I wanted to be able to share my videos with my friends. And there was no 20 megabyte limit in email at the time, so I would upload them to YouTube. And I had hundreds of thousands of views on these videos because people just wanted to see them, right? And so I got this DMCA takedown. It was a strike against my account. I'm like, what's going on? Finally, after like years, because I thought it was over, so I was just on Vimeo. I finally talked to a lawyer. I sent him a what is it when you send it back to them and they have 10 days to either take you to court and drop it, and of course they dropped it. And I was like, yay, I beat the farting preacher. And that's when I uploaded my video of me making that rum drink, because I was like, I'm like, hey, I got my account back, let's drink, right? And then a year ago Christmas, I got my first 3D printer, and it seemed natural to want to share what I was doing. I love the technology. I'm very passionate about it. I want to evangelize it, and what better way than a digital medium, right?
Right.
So I started with OpenSCAD, and I designed my my GoPro camera rig because I wanted a two-handed rig for the GoPro. It's around here somewhere. And so I talked about that on YouTube, and I talked about my prototypes, and I talked about how I wanted to make things better. And then I started printing bigger things because I then got my G-Max printer, and I was printing Destiny weapons. And that's when it took off. My the video, it's like 22 minutes long, 25 minutes long, where I'm putting together the Hawk Moon gun. It's now at 140 some odd thousand views. It got posted to some message board somewhere. It hockey sticked right off the charts. And that's when I started gaining hundreds and hundreds of subscribers per day. It was insane.
Wow. So I didn't realize you were in making videos that long. I did not know that. So that explains a lot. That actually explains a lot. So
I had my my pirated copy of Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere long ago. It's just funny now.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Well, there's a couple. Let's see. There's a couple questions. People ask me where in Michigan I'm at.
Oh yes.
I am just outside of Detroit area. So if anybody 3D prints and just outside of Detroit area, hey, send me a message. We'll hook up. So there's that. Let's see. There was another one. Someone said I should write a book about 3D printing. I did. I guess that went over really well. That was a beginner's guide to 3D printing. I did write that, and it's mainly about my experience and entry level with the Vinci printer. So I
Maybe.
won't go too deep into it, but this was when I started. That was the other thing. When I started, I was fine with Da Vinci and using the stuff. I actually got a hold of the company. I said, "Look, I'm writing a book on this. I'd like to, work with you guys in some respect. Could we do something?" And after several conversations back and forth, they were like, "Yeah, we'll promote you on our Facebook page, but we'd like you to do an exclusivity deal where you just use our stuff."
Oh yeah.
And I said, "Well, I was planning on kind of using your stuff anyway, but what are you offering? Let's talk money here." And
Yeah.
and they offered me zero. So they basically said, "We'll promote you on Facebook, and that's it." And I was like, what? I think I had 500 subscribers at the time. What am I going to say, right?
Well.
And so I said, "Well, let's just go with this." And I did a bunch of videos. I got the book coming out. I sent them a copy of the book. Hopefully, the idea that I could get on their distribution. So everything was going good, and then they started. They had been changing the firmware, and then I got my first cartridge error. It was actually on my son's machine, and I said, "Look, we got this error." And long story short, we went back and forth like 7 emails, and they wouldn't fix it. They wouldn't do anything about it.
Wow.
And so I said, "Look, I got to do something here." So I'm using the printer. I'm actually printing some stuff that I sell through a third party, and they needed this stuff printed, and I was like, okay, I got one cartridge, and that one gave me a false error. It said it's a legal cartridge. So that's when I reflashed my first Da Vinci, and they were so pissed they just dropped me. And I had a Da Vinci Junior. They loaned me for review. They said, "Send it back immediately. We're not going to work with you anymore." And I was like, and that was it. And
that's the best thing that could have ever happened to you.
It really was, because I looked at it and
ever.
I go, let's see what they were doing. And after they stopped promoting my channel on their Facebook, I actually grew. So I'm like, well, I guess that didn't hurt me too much. But that's why I have such a love-hate relationship with the XYZ I've got. It's been, Da Vinci has been there, and that's why I'm actually bringing some of it back to the channel. I got so many people have been asking me do more Da Vinci because they've got the machines, and I don't want to leave them stranded. I helped them, suggested they buy it through my books and stuff. So I am going to be doing a little more Da Vinci on the channel, but it'll probably be mostly the Leonardo, the reflash.
Hey, you remember I did that non-review of the Da Vinci Pro?
That's right. Didn't you send it back?
Yeah, I sent it back. They saw that, and I did not get a happy email from them. They were very not happy with my non-review. And so apparently the XYZ Da Vinci Pro that I got was a refurbished unit. And they said, "You knew it was refurbished. We told you it was refurbished." And I checked my emails, and they had never said that. And I said, if you could point me to the documentation where you told me it was refurbished, I would appreciate it. I may not have all of my documentation in order. And then I said, well, look, if it's refurbished, that's fine. But then whoever you had refurbish it did a terrible job.
Exactly.
So I am giving them another chance. They are sending me a brand new XYZ Da Vinci Pro, and I will give it a try.
Well, it
I'm
should
scared.
be interesting. It's there's already some comments here. People saying they reflash theirs immediately. That's just the story of Da Vinci. You can get a good one out of the box, but many of them are not. And sticking to the bed, like you had problems with, is always an issue. I could go through a bunch of. There's so many things I could talk about. My first Da Vinci, the one that I started with, that thing still runs every day, like 24 hours a day, printing a very simple print that I sell. That thing is.
What is the print? Now you got to tell me what the print is.
Oh, I got to tell you, don't.
Yeah. Hey, you brought it up.
Actually, I don't know if I should. I'll tell you, because the reason I sell it, and I sell it through a third party, and we've had people steal the design and sell it against us.
Really?
And I'm actually in a battle right now. So
Really? Okay, so should you not tell me?
Yeah, I
Should you
can't.
not?
Well, I can't tell you because I've even taken the file down from Thingiverse and everything. But I'll give you a clue. It was one of my early Filament Friday videos.
Okay.
So, no, I'll show you. I'll show you what it is. You see it?
Yeah. Is it a beard comb? What is it?
The mailbox flag.
Oh! No way!
That was one of my first Tinkercad designs. And I had someone hook up, say, hey, I would like to sell that. And boom, it took off. And not huge, certainly not huge. Don't anybody go out and, do it. But that was the one that helped get me started. And then went and did other designs. But that machine is based, because it takes a while to print the thing. So just to get enough to keep up, it's running 24 hours a day. It's got over 3,000 hours of printing on that one machine. I've replaced the bearing mounts. I've rewired the extruder. I've fixed the bed numerous times. The glass is chipped. I fixed the heated bed. I mean, I've basically rebuilt this printer, but it's still going. So
hey, good, right? I mean, that's all you can really ask for.
Exactly. Yep. Mike guessed it. Mailbox flag.
Well, I think I finally caught up. So I don't think they guessed it. I think
So here's a few comments. Tinkercad. That's where we kind of differ. You do some really unique prints. The guns. Those
aren't unique, Chuck. Come on, those are not.
Well, they're unique to me because I don't watch half that stuff. I'll see the character and you'll say, "Hey, I got this gun from so and so." I'm like, I don't even know what he's talking about. This is a generation thing.
About here, hold on. Talking about this one, right? The one I just printed.
Yes. Now, what's that from?
It's from the game Overwatch.
Okay. See, I've never played it.
That's okay.
This is where the old guy shows up. I'm out of touch there.
Well, look at the design. That's cool.
It's phenomenal. That's what I love it. I love it. And I look at that and I go, that is a really cool thing. I don't know what. I mean, it doesn't shoot anything, right?
No, it doesn't.
But it's incredible detail and
yeah.
And then it's parts you put together, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was parts. It's like 18 different parts, and they all kind of glued together.
Which is a challenge in itself, right? Just getting.
It's not really a challenge. Everything printed great. I bought some sandpaper. I'm going to sand it down. I'm going to hit it with some matte finish. It's going to look good. It's just cool. It's popular, and that's why people watch it.
That's right. That's why you have 30K, and I've got barely 10 here.
I don't know about that. I mean, my Destiny gun was part of it. Let's see. Oh, when I did that really tall Barnacles statue.
Yes, that was cool.
He mentioned me and gave a link to my channel when he showed it off on his channel. And I mean, that video got like 500,000 views for him, which is great. But it ended up being a net positive 3.1K new subscribers that came from him.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, that's what actually put me over 10K.
You get that.
I was at 9,600, something like that. And then all of a sudden I went to bed. Jerry tweeted this out or sent out his video. And then I'm at like 12K. I'm like, oh crap, I got to do my contest.
John Fuller just mentioned, Chuck, you are not old. We are Geek 1.0. Or ain't that the truth? That makes everyone else Geek 2.0 and 3.0. But see, that's experience. I have experience. That's what it is.
You have experience. I have experience as well. I'm not young.
But you're younger than me. That's what's cool. When I look at like what I'm doing, I look at what you're doing, I look at what Angus is doing, and then I look at someone like CJ Printing and Andrew's Workshop and some of these younger guys that I go check out. It's it's so cool that to me 3D printing brings all these generations together to do a common thing. And that's what I love being part of this, because even though I may be printing, a wheel for my barbecue, which, no young kid's going to print a wheel for his, but I'm able to do it for his dad. But it's just something that I can do. But then I enjoy watching what everyone else is making, all these other, the guns and the characters and stuff. So I probably watch too much YouTube and too much 3D print. I should probably be making more videos. I enjoy watching it. It's there's so many channels that I watch. Print That Thing and Modbot, who used to be Dope Personer.
I love that guy, man.
I learned how to reflash my Da Vinci from him. He's the one that stepped me through it. So everyone comes to me to ask me about Da Vinci. Well, he showed me how to do it. So I love these channels. I am a watcher first and a maker of video second. That's really the truth. So that's part of it. Now, I do like making simpler prints because they're less complex and less chance for error. And I don't have the patience.
Okay.
So that's one thing. When I do my videos, I do have limited time. So I try to do something that's practical, that's useful, but also something that can print within an amount of time, because I don't have a lot of videos stacked up. So if the print doesn't work out, I got nothing for Filament Friday. So that's
Chuck,
part of it.
But you got to let I know that you have this production schedule, and I know that you have this process that you follow, but I highly think you could do 3 videos a week. I think that you could do videos before Friday where you talk about what you're doing, or you just do a quick 2 to 3 minute update of what's going on, or show something off, or anything like that. I know it's not possible for everyone to iterate so quickly, and so roll into it. Maybe add a Tuesday video. Just don't call it anything. Don't give it a thematic element. Just Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. your time. Just put out a video where you've spoken to the camera and you've talked about your week, what you have planned. Show off something that you weren't expecting to be cool that was cool. Maybe talk about a challenge that's upcoming. Maybe lead your audience into the Filament Friday video, where something that you say leads into a continuation of it in Filament Friday. I bet that would work wonderfully for you.
Okay, commenters, comment on that. Tell me that Joel's right, because
they will.
I'm sure he is.
They will.
But I have filmed so many things like that, and I watch it, and I go, no one's going to want to watch this, and I actually scrap it. There's some videos that I'm self editing to, I don't know, to a fault. Although someone did mention Tuesday Tech Tips, my CNC Sunday.
See, look at that. Someone says even the fails are interesting. Thank you. That is completely and totally right.
And that is something that's probably something I got to get over, because there's a series, and tell me this if you guys would be interested in this, because my background's electronics, and I look at the 3D printer and I go, there's so many little parts of how it works that I could explain. Is that even something people would be interested in?
Here's what you have to consider in this circle of 3D printing on YouTube. We have Tom Sandladder, however you say his name. He is, and you can dispute me, anybody can dispute me, but he is the absolute king of technical 3D printing.
No doubt.
So if you're trying to do something that approaches what he does, then you're going to be compared directly against. And so if you want to approach the highly technical sort of 3D printing videos, my suggestion, again, just a suggestion, is to find what you like about Tom's videos, and then find what you don't like, change that up, and then put those two things together. And so at that point, your videos have a familiarity, but then take on a whole new meaning.
Gotcha.
That's just my thought.
Commenters are agreeing with you completely. No,
yeah.
For example, like one topic that I wanted to cover was like stepper motors. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into the deep details of stepper motors, but it helps to understand. You understand what microstepping is, just on a basic level.
Mm-hmm.
Does that even help? Does it help to understand that? I remember.
Well, I would watch that. I would love to hear stuff like that.
And then the other thing, in fact, I was on Modbot's live stream. I mentioned how there's people who want to learn programming. They say they play with Arduino, but not sure they understand it. And I'm like, do you realize that if you can 3D print and go through all those steps to get a 3D print, you know all the steps to really program a microcontroller. They're hand in hand. And to compare those two, and he was like, man, I'd love to see that thing. So these are the kind of little video clips I make in addition to, like you said, the fails and some of the other stuff that I could do. I probably got enough material to do what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just got to get over my self-editing of, oh my God, that looks like crap. Scratch that.
Chuck, you got to remember, the video I put up of that stupid model stuck on the stupid bed of my stupid old tea maker, right? I was drunk off of barbecue and rum, and I'm just like, this is frustrating. And so everybody was asleep, and here I am trying to put it in the freezer without breaking it on the floor, and here I am trying to pry glass in my sink, and I know I'm going to cut myself and bleed out, but I still did it anyway. And so you're always going to be your harshest critic.
Definitely.
You're always going to be your harshest critic.
Well, like the bender head, the talking bender head.
Yeah.
That
was fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do, and I included some electronics, but there were so many steps in there that I had to cut out. I was like, did this even come across? Because part of what it is like I said, I write books, right, and
Yeah.
articles, and so when you do that, there's no feedback. There's no direct feedback. So when I write something,
Sure.
I have to explain the setup, the whole detail. So when someone reads it, they learn enough from it to understand what they need to do.
Okay.
And what I find is in the videos, there's not enough time to do that without sounding incredibly long and boring. So I have to back that off, and that's when I look at it, and then my self-editing comes in from the books, and I go, man, no one's going to understand what the hell I'm talking about.
Oh, wait a minute. No. This is perfect. This is okay. I understand exactly what you're saying. And again, this is just advice. This is just my opinion on things.
This is awesome.
But don't lose your detail. That's like losing a part of yourself, right? If you're buried in the details, and that's where you thrive, then do it, but then make it accessible to those who don't have the attention span or the ability to grok what you're saying. So if you put up bullet points and text on the screen, write out notes and shorten your concepts to 5 to 10 words, right? Blah, 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 this, blah, 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 blah. You've just covered an insane amount of steps. But with quick editing, you've broken it down into an easily consumable piece of information and something that's a joy to watch. So don't lose your detail at all. People love your detail. I love your detail. Don't ever lose that. Think about ways of presenting the detail in a way that more people can consume the information. Right.
Right.
That's my thinking.
I appreciate that. I feel like I've gone through therapy in front of it.
Oh God, Pierre said, "Rock here."
No, this is excellent advice, and we're getting some comments here agreeing completely.
Brett said many short clips. Anthony said he wants to see how Arduino integration videos into 3D printing and programming and how and what. Jay Wall says, "Got to roll." Look at that. Luke said, "Yeah, the bender head was cool." Where is it? Toby says he sees the broken eagle in the Ultimaker back there. There it is! It's still on the plate because it won't come off.
Well, I wanted to.
I use this. I use Wolfbite Nano. I'd never used this crap before.
Do you ever see one of these?
You're gonna, dang it. Yes, I got sent some. Look at it. You're gonna make me open my Red Bull, Chuck. Make me. Cheers.
This is the because this is what I use initially to get those, just to get the edges,
Right.
so I can pry it, and then I come back with that build tack, which by that interview you did, I guess this would be a weapon because it's a lot thinner than
Oh, right.
3, but this is priceless. This is absolutely priceless. So, and these are cheap. You can get these. They're a paint knife. They're not a 3D print tool. They're a paint knife, and they work great. But
well, that's part of 3D printing, right? 3D printing isn't. I know I have the BuildTech spatula, and I know you have the BuildTech spatula, but that is not required. It's cool and it's formed well, but it's not required, right? 3D printing is part of the maker sphere, and so repurposing things to help with your 3D printing, that's what we need. It was like J-Wall's cat armor, right? That went viral. Not just because it was awesome, it's because he was using 3D printing as a tool to make something cool. He wasn't just, I mean, I know I build my Pikachus and my Destiny guns, but his cat armor was cool. That was cool.
Yes, definitely. Well, that's definitely good advice. And everyone's agreeing. I mean, I do get some of that feedback. My Patreon supporters are awesome and give me that feedback as well. I do have people that love the practical prints, but I'm not sure. I definitely got to mix in more electronics. There's so many ideas rolling around in my head that I'd like to do and incorporate it, because part of it too is I really don't want to do multi-part videos, but sometimes I think that may be a better way to go for some of this. That here's the electronics, and maybe that could be a partial video on like a Monday or Tuesday, and then the 3D print comes up later.
That's a great idea.
And so there's so many things like that, because my expertise is electronics.
Show it off. If you just zoom in on a circuit board you're soldering for 30 seconds, I would watch that more than once.
I heard when someone says, "What the hell is Boolean?"
I don't know. It's one thing or another. I really don't know.
That's right. Yeah. Chuck, stop thinking so much. Just do them. That was it, Anthony. Yeah, that's probably true.
Anthony's right, dude.
I do overthink it.
Bad advice. J-Wall was saying it. Everybody was saying it.
That's
turn on your camera and just film something, and then edit out some of the spaces where you say or ah, and then publish it.
Yeah,
I would watch that.
All right.
Look at hey,
I made a commitment. I'm going to do it.
All right. Mike said, "Why did you stop CNC Sunday videos?"
Oh, that was that was mainly time. The project, I've done several projects on it, but getting a CNC to work right, to cut right, and all that, there were so many failures.
Okay.
And what it started to do was cut into the quality of my Filament Friday. So I said, well, let's maybe back this off, because I wanted to do CNC Sunday and Filament Friday, like 2 videos a week. And then once in a while squeeze in a Tuesday Tech Tip or a V-blog or something like that. And
I'm going to stop you right there, Chuck. The kids call them vlogs now. We don't say V-blog. We say vlog.
So there it is, generational thing. Video blog. There you
go. You can have that one. That's yours.
But yeah, I got to update my comments here. So that's what slowed it down. But I've done, my wife does a lot of miniature houses. She actually writes books as well, short stories. And then she does these miniature houses that match the story. So I'm constantly cutting little pieces for her stories, like those rings I did. That she made the Hobbit. She made a replica of the Hobbit house in the Hobbit.
Wow!
And so those rings
were
the
on that.
What's that?
Do a video on that.
You know,
man.
I have told her, let me film. She's her desk, her bench is in here. She sometimes is in here working. Um, she's got some really cool houses. I told her I'll start putting those up, and she's finally sold into it. 'Cause she's like an artist, you know. It's like, do I really want to show this? People will pick it apart, and I'm like, they're amazing. But so some of those projects get in the way too. Like I'm doing those, and I don't really do a full CNC Sunday on it. But apparently more people liked it than I thought. So there's a couple of people said they found my channel through the CNC. So do you have any of these printers that can do CNC? Because that's starting to become more like popular.
I've got, well, okay, I have the XYZ DaVinci Pro coming, which supposedly has a laser attachment that lets me do laser etching of things.
Yeah, but not cutting.
And but nothing that actually has the ability to CNC. I don't. I think I want to get an X-Carve. And I want, because my dad is a woodworker, just an amazing, intricate woodworker. He can, like it used to be as kids, my mom would look at a piece of furniture she wanted in a magazine, and she would show it to my dad, and then he would just go build it instead of, spending thousands of dollars on it.
That's terrible.
So what I want to do is I want to get an X-Carve, and I want to take it over to my dad's shop, and I want him and I to put it together, and then I want to leave it with him, because I think that would be wonderful. But I need to find the time, right?
Yes, yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, the X-Carve, that was actually, I got that from Inventables. They sent me that, and the easel software makes it so easy to use. So
that's what I've heard.
So that's gotten a lot better. That was the other part of the CNC Sunday. I had problems with the easel software, and then they've improved a lot of the things I was having problems with. So I may be able to do more. Several people mentioned Ben Heck. I do watch Ben Heck videos all the time. Actually, they're so long. That's the only thing. I'm afraid to do a long video like that because I just feel I'm going to lose my audience if I do it too long, and I don't want to do that. What is your average watch time?
5.5 minutes.
So if you do a 15-minute video, does that mean you're basically losing people for most of the last part of it?
No, not always. It means that there's a chance that I am, but again, 5.5 is just my average. And so there are some videos I put out that are 3 minutes and some that I put out that are 10, and it just kind of averages out. Like the one I did with Bill from Punished Props, where we finished off the Harry Potter one.
Yes.
That was 42 minutes long.
And I watched most of it.
That's just it. A lot of people did because there wasn't anything to really cut out of it. It was all informative. It was all good information. And I learned so much. I mean, there we go. There it is. Look at that.
That is
cool. It looks great. And
that does not look 3D printed. That's what's so amazing about that.
Well, here's what let's see. Actually, I'll just bring this over. So I've got a Lego mug, and I have a bunch of wands. So after doing these with Bill, Expelliarmus, I printed a bunch more because my kids all wanted one. So each kid now will have a wand, and I'm going to show them how to sand it and how to prime it, and then sand it, and then sand it some more, and then paint it, and they'll get to do the brushwork and the aging, and it'll be cool.
That is really awesome. So there's proof that a longer video could work. Other people mentioned Great Scott. That's another. So there's another YouTube video I watch. Great Scott. Have you ever?
I don't know Great Scott.
He does electronics. He's got I think he's German, but he's got a unique accent, and it's not his first language. English is not his first language, but he does a great job. He was a great story. I saw an interview with him. He said he had like 15,000 subscribers. He built up to 15,000, and it was like January of 2014. And he said by the end of the year he had 150,000 subscribers. He says, I didn't do anything different. He says I was doing the same videos, just all of a sudden it took off. But he does a great job in explaining the electronics. So yeah, I do watch. That's a great suggestion from, I forget who said it in the comments. So I guess I need to start making more videos, is what you're telling me. Bottom line.
Don't just make more videos. Just create.
No, I've got the content.
Publicize more of your content because you already have this content. Don't be afraid. Fail forward, right? Isn't that what Steve Jobs said, or some important individual? You always fail forward.
Yes. I'm trying to read the comments and look at you, but no, that's a good point. Just put it out there. People will tell me if it sucks, and we'll go from there. Which you can tell me I suck.
Even if it doesn't,
that does not bother me. That's the thing.
Suck,
that does not bother me. If I put out a video and I thought it was the best I could put out, and someone says it sucks,
yeah,
it sucks. Whatever, I liked it, but if I don't like it, that's the part I got to get over, because if I don't like it, it ain't going out, and that's the stuff I've scrapped. And I've run some stuff by my family members, and some of the reactions I get from some of the stuff, I'm like, really? I'm going to put that out there? They're the worst critics sometimes. I get a look from my teenage son. It's like, no, don't do it, Dad. Don't do it. And then sometimes I do it. Like that, the coffee filament. Where I come
Chuck, Academy Award winner is what should precede your name, because that was amazing.
You have no idea how close that came to getting cut.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you...
That thing was, I filmed that, God, I had 10 different takes of that, and each one was different. And the one that I chose, that I was going to go with, I played it in front of my son, and some of his friends were over, and the reaction was so awful. I went back and edited, and I did a milder version. So, people thought the video was brilliant.
You cannot have teenage kids judge your videos, because they are not your intended audience.
Well, who's watching my videos, though? I mean, look at...
You tell me that. What does your analytics say?
Well, I've looked, and it's spread across the board, but I would say I've probably got more...
The hump at? It's like 25 to 34, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest chunk.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's the biggest chunk.
Yeah, okay. So don't ask teenagers to evaluate your stuff.
But can you imagine if I could actually make a video that made teenagers laugh? That's like a goal. I'm like, it ain't gonna happen. I'm an old guy. But
do it. No, you got this. Just leave the camera on yourself, not saying anything for like an extra few seconds, and eventually people will be like, "What the heck's going on?"
I sit here now and I'm listening to this, and I'm going, "How did I get to 10K?"
See, look, Darren said he's 50 and he watches every video of yours. You should talk to Darren and be like, Darren, is this cool?
There you go. Failure is success. You guys are really cheering me on here, man. This is I love it, because they're. I'm loving this live chat.
Oh, see, look at my buddy Michael. Michael Phelps. This guy is awesome. Do you know who he is? He's the guy that made that illustrated my illustrations, my guys.
Oh, those are awesome. Those are freaking awesome. That's he captures you in those things so amazingly. It's really, really cool. That's I wish I could draw like that. That is really, really cool.
Okay, hold on. Hold the audience, Chuck. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. He's stepping out. Color your hair green. Yeah, that's good. DIY tech. I'm not sure what.
Hello, I'm Joel, the 3D printing girl.
That is keep him in the background there. I like that. I like the one where it's like you're sitting like this, like your face is like
there we go.
Like the one where your face is like slipping like that, and like you're barely awake.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it.
I know. That's it. That's what they capture. When I see those things, I'm like, I can imagine Joel looking just like that, Well, like your high five there. Your high five. Here's Here, I did this. That's.
Oh, it's so tiny.
I did a miniature Joel high five that you put on your Patreon.
Yeah,
Right there.
There we go.
I used this in a video. There was you were in one of my videos with this little guy, but I did print it bigger. But that so I do have you in my shop here.
Sweet. Oh, Chuck, I'm always with you.
But yeah, his sketches are awesome. Is he an artist by trade? He's got it. Right? He's got it.
Michael Phelps used to draw Dick Tracy.
See how little I know.
Ha!
I just revealed what a non-nerd I am. Being a nerd, I'm a nerdy non-nerd.
That's okay. You know, here's what's interesting.
Are you serious? That's who drew Dick Tracy.
No, he did draw. He's not the only illustrator. You know.
Oh, okay.
There are illustrators who drew for the comics, and he was one of. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Michael Phelps is he's good people. You should stay in contact with him. He's good people.
Awesome.
But here's I'm a nerd as well, and I don't read. A lot of my friends they read these books, and I don't read at all. I don't find it enjoyable.
Really?
And I know I have to tell my kids, right? You guys need to read your books. And I don't read.
Holy cow! I spend so much time reading.
Oh God!
It's actually this is why I don't make as many videos. I'm too busy reading and watching YouTube.
There's your problem. I did. The last book I read was Ready Player One. Did you read that?
No.
Ready Player One. Okay, we'll see if anybody. Let's see if you've read Ready Player One. Raise your hand or something, because I bet there's going to be some people on the chat room that have read Ready Player One.
I got Alex Boulderoff here. Chuck, you remind me of This Old House or New Yankee Workshop. It's a nice style. Dude, that is exactly what I was going for. That is exactly what my channel was supposed to be about. That's what the practical prints is. Everything you hit the nail on the head. So thank you. At least someone like that. Let's see. So has anybody read that book?
See, you read it.
Player One, yeah. Heather read it. Yep. So what's it about?
Oh, it's
Yes, another one.
A
lot of people.
It's set in the future, and there's this online thing, this online virtual reality that everybody's a part of, and then the person that created it left behind a big fortune when he died, and they're in the game, and and then these people have to quest to try and find it through these clues, and they're trying to stay. It's so good. It references so much of the '80s that I grew up in.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, no, it looks like Angus just joined us. He's on here too. Hey, Angus.
Hey, dude.
That's the thing. Most of the stuff I read are technical, boring technical shit. I shouldn't say that. But that's the internet. To me, it's been out forever. But when I started with electronics, I was like 8 years old, and there was we didn't have internet, so everything that I learned, I had to read through magazines, through books. So I learned to read and read and read, and I just could not get enough of it. And
wow,
that just stuck with me. And so when the internet first, arrived, and that I could go online and find stuff that someone explained how a transistor circuit worked or that, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So I still, to this day, I go on people's site, and because I write books, I got to explain this to other people, right?
Okay.
And so if someone can explain something better than me, then I learn from them. And there's many times that I'll read something, I'll go, oh, dude, that was brilliant. How you explain that in a paragraph that would take me 3 pages. I get really excited about that. And that's, to me, is a talent that I wish I had more of. And In fact, that's basically how I got into writing articles and the book. Um, I did a lot of programming with PIC microcontrollers, and
Okay.
there was nobody writing articles in Nuts and Bolts magazine and that on how to use them. So I decided I'm going to try and write an article. Now, I'm coming from a background that the only classes I ever got like C's in was English. The teacher said, you know, your grammar sucks, and you need to you need to learn how to write better. In fact, my first year of college, I had all A's and B's except for my English. I barely made a C, and this teacher was teaching us how to read Shakespeare. I said, what the hell does Shakespeare have to? Whoops, I did it again. What does Shakespeare have to do with transistors? And I was going to school for engineering, and so I approached this. I'm like, I can't write. So I put this article out there, and Nuts and Bolts magazine picked it up. And after that article was published, one of the columnists in the magazine, he had his own publishing company. He sent me an email, and he said, you just took a very technical topic and made it so simple. He said, have you ever considered writing a book? And I said, well, I actually have a book in the back of my head, which was my first one, programming PIC microcontrollers with PIC Basic. I think that's the title.
Okay.
I got like 12 books. I can't remember the titles.
But you're so published.
But yeah, I did that, and that's what got me started. And I was like, really? And he loved it. He was like, this is really, really good. And,
that's so cool.
And so I went into it thinking I can't write because this teacher had me convinced. So any of you kids out there who think you can't do something because the teacher said you're no good at it, just ignore it. If you want to do it, just do it. That's the best advice I could give anybody going forward. So don't listen to Joel. Read all you can, and
don't listen to your teachers.
I
didn't go to college either.
What?
No, I didn't go to college.
Well, I thought you did programming.
I did.
So you self-taught programming, or what? You did what?
Yeah. No, the computer stuff is all just from me being a nerd.
That's awesome. That's some of the best electronic guys I've ever met were self-taught. They learned through tubes and radios and all that stuff. They were some of the
I'm not that old, though.
I am.
I did, let's see, I had Radio Shack breadboards. I think it was. Was it Radio Shack, or I could breadboard stuff?
Yes, with the springs. You pull the spring back, put the wire in.
That's right. I did my own. I would create traces using the tape and then dip it into the solution. You take the
etch your board when you etch your board.
Yes, I did etching in high school.
Okay.
I built a two-way communicator system, so I could. I was going to install it between the house and the garage when I was a kid. So when my dad was out working in the garage, I could be like, "Hey, Dad, how's it going?" And he'd be like, "Hey, son, what's going on?" But I never installed it.
How did it communicate? Just wires? It was wired?
Yeah, it was just wires. It was a simple switching mechanism for wires. It had a
that is cool.
It had an audio amplifier, and it used the induction of the speaker to turn it into a microphone. Right. I think it would do that.
Right.
But
so there you go. So if I did some electronics, you'd learn from that too. I actually thought you had a programming degree. Actually, I did.
Oh, no, I have nothing. Literally nothing.
So then overall, I mean, how much? Let's see what time we're. Oh shit, we're an hour and a half here.
Who cares? We're having fun.
Yeah.
It's what, 12:30 your time, right?
Yeah, I'm cool. Usually, you know what?
I got Red Bull, man. What are you talking about?
Honest to God, you know what? Because I sometimes have a hard time sleeping. I'll be laying in bed, earbuds in my ear, and my iPhone. And you know what I'm watching? I'm watching Angus's live stream. I'm watching videos that you're putting out. I'm watching YouTube. There's so many of you guys out there that I'm watching. It's incredible that, I probably should comment more, but there's just I learned so much from everybody else, and I just love watching it. But like I said, I probably should be making videos.
I don't know. Let's see. Someone's asking what language I program in. I did some C and C++ for a while, and then I didn't like it. I didn't like programming. I was fine as a quality engineer. I did a lot of testing, but I didn't do my test harnesses in C or C++. I did a little bit of Java, but I ended up in ECMA 262 compliant languages. So there was one that my company at the time created, and then JavaScript. So I used PhoneGap to natively run JavaScript on iOS and Android devices for the applications that I made.
Okay.
And I did one that was called. I did one where it actually it interfaced with the Facebook API for tagging friends and checking into locations. It pulled from Foursquare, it pulled from Twitter, and it used OAuth authentication, and it was all JavaScript based.
Okay. So you more PC type stuff. See, that's the area I'm not super strong. Most of my programming is embedded, like assembly language. Yeah. You know, I started with assembly language. See, when I started, you got to remember, I'm going back. You know that when I was in college, the microprocessor was new, and we were actually flipping switches. We were flipping switches to program. I mean, this is. Let me tell you, just so you guys know, this is
programmers use magnets.
This is why I say I'm an old guy. What I'm seeing in 3D printing, I've seen before, because I lived through the whole computer evolution. When the first home computer, the Altair, you guys have probably read about the Altair. The Altair was released on a magazine like this. This is Nuts and Bolts, but it was released on Popular Electronics. I subscribed to that magazine, so I'm sitting there, I'm reading about this Altair, this computer, and then I'm seeing the ads for the Apple One. That was a kit, $666 kit. Yeah. I was like a teenager then. I was like in the middle of all that. I watched this whole thing expand. So just like 3D printing right now, everyone's using, building kits. They want to build their own kits, and they want to know, what extruder to use and what filament is recommended, what settings. That was the same thing back in the computer days. Because you want to know what driver board, what RAM to build with, what size RAM, what type of RAM, what interface to a display. Because you didn't just plug in a monitor; you had to do all this.
Oh yeah.
So
yes, you did.
So that's like the early form of the computers, and then the cheaper ones like the Commodore 64, the VIC-20.
Commodore 64. I mean, you're talking to my heart right now.
Yeah, when that came out, this is like, that to me, that's like the Da Vinci. That's like the Da Vinci printer. This is a complete, the first time you got a complete thing with the software and everything included. Take it out of the box and start using it. And then, of course, the Apple II and all that came along with much more powerful and much better features. And then, but everything we were doing, DOS and all that, it just evolved until, of course, Windows then changed everything again.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And then now, once it was Windows, then applications came, and then anyone could use a computer. So the nerds or the geeks and all of us who are right now in 3D printing, they kind of got pushed aside because the mass market took over the computer industry. And so we're still, to me, in that early adopter phase of 3D printing, even though we think it's come so far.
Okay, correlate that with you say we're in the early phases. Where? Are we in the TRS-80? Are we in the Altair? Are we in the VIC-20? Where are we? Where do you call it?
We're in a process right now. We are transitioning from the kit, the Apple One, the Altair. I mean, the Altair was the rep wrap, right?
Okay.
But the Apple One and some of the other kits, or the white boxes that came a little bit later, that's where we were. We're transitioning to now the kind of the Commodore 64, the Apple IIe, where the machine now works, but you want applications. You want a better software that handles the slicing better and something
Okay.
that communicates with the board better, something that automatically levels the bed, automatically adjusts for things. We've got that, but a lot of that doesn't work, right?
Sure. Okay.
I mean,
I could see that.
some
Yeah.
of it does. I mean, that's part of the reason I haven't. I got the Robo 3D sitting here, and I've been fighting with this thing. It's got the auto level. It has drove me nuts.
Here's something. Oh, while I remember, because I'm going to forget here in just a moment, because you triggered me with Robo 3D. Do you have one of those temperature devices where you can point it at something and it takes the temperature?
I have one, but it doesn't work very good. It was a Harbor Freight one. Don't ever buy that
Oh.
Harbor Freight one.
Oh, okay. So I mean, just spend another $4 and get another one, right?
Get something a lot better.
Check your Robo heated bed for cold corners.
Okay. Well, I'm actually having problems with. I mean, if I don't print with a raft, I don't get a reliable stick. I actually want to get in there and adjust it, and there's no adjustment on this thing. It's just
No.
and then I put down build tack, and it has the heated nozzle, so when it tries to level, it's stuck in. It just stuck because it melted in the build tack. And they've been really supportive. Robo 3D has been really supportive, trying to help me through some of the stuff. But that's the one thing I can say. Once you have so many, you've probably run into this so many times, but once you have so many printers, it's almost I got too many, that I get frustrated with it because I got 6 other printers I could go print something on. And I'm trying to do an evaluation, an honest evaluation, but I don't want to bash this thing because when I do get the print, it prints beautifully.
Which is great.
Yeah, so I've had some issues with it, but anyway, so that's what I'm talking about. That as far as auto level, not just that I haven't done a lot with it, but that's the phase we're in here.
Okay.
And we still have a ways to go, but I think this Christmas is going to be a lot different with Mattel, the Thingamaker coming out.
Yeah.
You've got Da Vinci coming out with a new lower one. You got more sub $300 printers that are fully assembled, like the Monoprice Select, which is actually a million. M200. You got the new. I guess you mentioned it. The new Fabricator Mini, all fully assembled.
Yeah.
So you got these low cost ones, but then the Microsoft's 3D Builder that's supposed to incorporate and handle these printers, communicate with these printers, that's just really starting to evolve. I don't know how well that's going to work, but the idea that the software and the printer now work together much better is where that next evolution. We shouldn't have to, in Tinkercad, I shouldn't have to design a Tinkercad, download an STL, bring it into another program, adjust all these different settings, take that, put it on the printer through SD card or connection or whatever to get this thing to print. That is way too many steps for a mass market to make this happen. That all has to go away. That all has to be consolidated.
People are trying to consolidate it, and that's where you get something like something like a Zortrax, right? Because they're trying to they're trying to apply Apple design and Apple theology to their ecosystem, because they've got the Zortrax filament, they've got the Zortrax machine that has Z Suite software, and then you can put your model in, but you don't have to define these things. You just tap some buttons and it prints, right?
I'm not saying there is stuff out there, but it's scattered right now. It's limited. And what does that thing cost?
Oh, way too much.
So you're not going to mass market something that does that. To me, this is what frustrates me so much about the Da Vinci and what XYZ printing. They had basically all this figured out early on. $500 for a printer, came with its own software, and you may not like the cartridges, but the cartridges had the temperature set, the flow rate. You didn't have to worry about all that. You just kind of, do you want good, medium, or bad, and do you want to build? And of course, then the tinkerers came in and said, hey, this has got really good mechanics. Let's hack this thing and make it a better printer. Instead of letting that go, because everyone who hacked a Da Vinci printer was buying a Da Vinci printer, right? So you're going to see Da Vinci printers everywhere. No, they went and they started to change the firmware to stop you from doing that. And that's when they started doing the blocking of the cartridges and telling you a good cartridge was illegal. They put blocks in the firmware. You bring the new firmware in, and then you couldn't downgrade the firmware. So if you loaded the new firmware that they released, and there was something wrong with it, you couldn't go back to the old firmware because they blocked you from doing that.
That's terrible.
And I look, and
that's no good.
Exactly. I go, you guys had it in the palm of your hand, and you let this go. And so now, they've kind of got a reputation of, not the best printer and not the greatest support. But they had, yeah, okay, I'm being nice, but they had it and they let it go, and I'm going, they were early, but that's where we kind of got to get to, but with quality slicers, and the printer itself. I mean, if I buy a printer, you don't have to tell me every kind of filament, but if you tell me the Matter Hackers and the Protopasta and pick some top 5, here's the settings for this type of filament, load it and go. The printer company should be able to supply that to me, and it also should be, if they have their software included, I should be able to drop down, pick what plastic I'm using. I'm using Protopasta coffee, and it knows that for this printer, set it to this temperature, set it to this, flow rate, this, boom. And you click and go. That's, to me, the next phase. That's not Windows, but that's the next phase of 3D printing we got to get to meet the evolution of like what the computer was doing.
So you think that the future in front of us isn't necessarily a simplified 3D that is able to print to everything, but you think the future is more a printer manufacturer provided application per printer or per model series, something like that? Do you think that's more the future, or is that the future we need to get to?
That's the
future. Simplified 3D.
It's the future we need to get to. But what I don't understand is why companies aren't going to Simplify 3D and say, "Give me Simplify 3D customized to my printer."
Well, again, that would be getting into business logistics, right? And I have no idea what Simplify 3D is doing, and obviously they would charge a pretty penny, I'm sure, for anything. And that's what Cura exists as an open source piece of software, and you've got Lulzbot and Ultimaker and BCN. They've all taken the Cura engine and then wrapped their own kind of UI around. Even Matter Control for Matter Hackers, I believe, will run the Cura Slice engine at some point. So I
think we're on the verge of this happening, because if you look,
close.
Like you said, the Ultimaker's got Cura. You've got the FlashForge has Flash Print. You've got the Craftware. I think it is there. Da Vinci's XYZ ware is just crap. But it's you're starting to see that, and someone takes the printer out of the box. They want it. You got to remember, not selling to nerds like us that are willing to tweak all this. I want to take it out of the box. I want to load this file. I want to click a button, and maybe I can tweak a few things, but then it goes and it prints. Now, you can still have an advanced tab where the nerd can go in and tweak things and do whatever, but that plastic that you chose should already be in the machine, already calculated how it should flow, how it should print, and we're still learning that. That's a lot of questions we get. How should I set up my machine? What filament are you using? And there's just so many filaments that it's hard to do that. But I'm just saying, for the industry to really grow, to me, that's what's got to happen if we're going to have a similar growth to like what computers did.
I think you're right, and I equate it to the kitchen counter model, right? For mass adoption to happen, we need the microwave of 3D printers. We need the toaster oven, the whatever, right? Because if you look on your microwave, it's quite a technological feat, and it's gotten better over time. And there's always, there's the fish button, the popcorn button, the minute button, but then there's these advanced features where you can do time and temperature your own way. So if 3D printing can be the microwave, then that's nirvana, right? At that point, we've reached mass adoption. And I think we're further away than we should be.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're there's certain printer companies that are doing this really well, and then there's so many just throwing. I'm going to get into this. I'm going to throw a printer out there, and you figure out what software to use. You figure out what filament to use. I mean, that's a lot to ask for someone who's just trying to get into this. And if someone goes and buys that, like I've had so many people contact me, hey, I just bought a printer on eBay. Chuck, what settings should I use? And I go, I don't know. I really don't have one answer for you, because I don't even, it's a kit. I don't even know how they put it together. Is it solid?
Oh, right.
Is it repeatable? Can you get the X and Y and Z to move to the same point? So that's where, to me, a fully assembled is where it's got to get to if you want to get this thing to grow to mass market. So
yeah, you're right.
That's just, I don't know, and I'm seeing that start to evolve. But that's when I look at the computer industry. That's where I see we're at. We're still a ways away from that, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're a ways away, and it's right, we're getting there. And there's always going to be that chance of a company releasing something that takes us a generational step forward, right? There could be, by Christmas or possibly in 18 months, we may have that generational leap of printing technology that might give it to a mass market audience. That could still happen, right? We might be able to skip a few steps.
Possibly. You're definitely possible. I mean, like Simplify 3D to me has done an amazing thing in that I can use one set of software and control all my different printers. But how many people are going to have multiple different printers? So, that one bit of software that has everything tuned to it. The same way that I can go pick a printer and it automatically gives me a profile already set up because they've tested it. I want that same drop down for, I'm going to use Protopasta coffee. Here's the settings. That takes a lot of time, and I don't see that happening. I don't see anybody really doing that in depth, and because I just don't see the benefit to it. I don't know, but to me, it's almost like the filament companies should pick the top 10 printers and say, these are the settings for our filament on these printers to print this kind of resolution, to print this kind of quality.
Oh, yeah. And I bet we'll get there. I bet that'll happen soon.
I think they've got to drive that, because otherwise, Lee, you got all these different, it's just like there was tons of different computers back then. There's tons of different printers right now. And then there's all different kinds of software. There was, I mean, we think about it now, there's Windows and Mac, the OS X, and then Linux. But back then there was, CPM, and there was variations off of that. And
yeah, that's true.
So it's like you got to get that consolidated for everyone's using the same thing. And so I look at now there's so many different filaments to choose from. That's what's going to separate the different filament companies. It's going to be the ones that I can buy this filament. I know it's going to be good. They give me the settings and say Simplify 3D or Cura, and I load those settings and I know it's going to print on my machine. And at that point, I want to keep buying their filament.
Yeah.
And they can actually charge a little bit extra because I know I'm getting that direct support. I mean, it puts guys like, we got to change our videos because they're not coming to ask us how did you use that filament? But that to me is the next step. And that's what the Da Vinci cartridges tried to do and actually did okay, but their slicer was terrible. They should have, to me, went to Cure or Simplify 3D and put those guts in it.
Yeah.
But the cartridges actually worked, and their filament is actually not that bad.
Wait, what? Really?
Their filament, here, I put this out on Patreon, but look, there's a 10K I printed on my stock Da Vinci, my original Da Vinci. This is an ABS. Now, I'm not going to claim that this is the best print you've ever seen, but for a stock Da Vinci ABS, look at this. There's no warping.
Yeah.
There's no splitting. There's no like real stringing.
What was your orientation?
It printed just like this, straight up.
Oh, straight up. Oh, wow.
No supports. And
That's impressive.
I didn't adjust the flow. I didn't adjust the temperature. It was all done. This is off a stock cartridge. What I did adjust is all the mechanical. I got the bed set right. I got all the looseness in the X and Y. I got all the mechanical things working properly. I got the temperature. The chamber is enclosed because that's the way that the printer's designed. So it can be done. And can you imagine if I had a really good slicer? How good this could be. I mean, I wouldn't have the ribbing. So this is what I'm saying. There's that capability, and you don't have to say it has to be a cartridge. It can just be an open. I can buy any filament. I can go buy Matter Hackers filament, but Matter Hackers Pro in a FlashForce Dreamer. This is the settings that you want to use. Why do I have to guess at that?
Well, why do you have to guess out now? Hopefully that changes, right?
That's what I'm saying. When that changes, that's to me, when, in my opinion, that's when we start to see a change in the business model. We start to see more people using it.
Right. And Chuck, we gotta think about closing it up. I still have a 30K contest video to shoot tonight.
I know. You got me off on a tangent there.
I did get you off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
I apologize, guys. We missed all these different comments, but
we caught some of them. We called out to people. We had a good time. I think we had a really good time. Yeah, we could easily do this again in the future.
Yes, I really enjoyed it. Sorry that it was to everybody. It was a rough start, but I don't know how it's going to come across, but. Joel, thank you for doing this with me. I do really appreciate it. And
this was a lot of fun. I had a good time. You're a generous host. Thank you for having me on your channel. I do appreciate it.
Anytime. And I mean, at some point, I'd love to see you, me, and Angus go at this, because when you two start talking, there's so many times, something I want to throw in there, but I learned so much from you two guys going back and forth.
For me to Angus? Oh, I just spout crazy talk from my mouth. He's the one with all the technical knowledge.
His technical knowledge is deep. I hope he's still on here, but I learned so much from him. But then the experience you have with all the different printers and some of the stuff you've thrown in there, I'm like, wow, I'm really learning here. But then you guys will throw some stuff out there, like I go, no, that's not right. Like I think Angus was talking about stepper motors, and he was like, he had the wrong, degrees per.
You call him out.
I'm like, no. Let me throw something in here. But so someday we got to do that, man. Someday we'll
do it when there's time. We'll schedule it a month and a half out, so we'll make sure we hit our date.
All right, sounds good. So anyway, let's wrap this up. It looks like we still got a lot of people hanging in here this late.
Yeah. We've got 88 watching still. It's fine. It's not that late on my side. One thing you do have to remember with OBS, because it's sending off a stream and everything's cached on your machine, you do need to wait 10 seconds before you hit stop stream, or else they miss the end.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let me get that set up here. Where the heck did my screen go? I moved my screens around so much here with all the problems.
You need a bigger monitor. You need more than one monitor. That's what you need.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably.
I will.
All right, man.
I will call it good, and we will talk. We will talk in the morrow. How about that?
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Hey, good night, everybody. Good night, Chuck.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.